Piedmont Park is located in the city of Atlanta, Georgia. Its diverse ecosystem provides a great atmosphere for kids and adults to enjoy their time in the outdoors. With so many people going to the park every day, it is important that the park's natural state is conserved, but it is also vital that the park is safe for kids, adults, and other animals, whether they are domesticated or not. For our research, we compared the water quality of Clear Creek to the water quality of the tap water in Piedmont Park. We conducted this research to ensure the safety of the people who came to the park.
For our research project, water samples were taken from the park. 20 samples were from the Clear Creek water, and the other 20 samples were taken from the tap water throughout the park. The samples of the tap water were taken from the fountains all over Piedmont Park. Some samples came from the dog water fountains, and the others came from regular water fountains. 2 samples were taken from each area to avoid pseudoreplication. Each sample was then tested for pH, nitrate content, and phosphate content.
So we're taking these samples, well currently we're taking the samples from water fountains in the dog park, and we are testing them for phosphate. But basically we're adding these 2 chemical reagents to 5 milliliters of the water from the samples, and they react, and we wait some time and allow equilibrium in the chemical reaction to establish, and there's a color card and you compare it, and it tells you in parts per million or milligrams per liter of what the phosphate concentration is.
Several tests were conducted to determine water quality. This included testing for pH, nitrate, and phosphate. A pH test determines if the substance you're testing is acidic or basic. We conducted this pH test by using a pH probe. To test the pH using a probe, you first calibrate it and then dip it into the water and record the pH level. The second test we used tested for nitrates. A nitrate test is a chemical test used to determine the presence of nitrate ions in a solution, in this case water. We conducted this test by using test strips. First, you take the strip and dip it into the solution, and after approximately 10 seconds, you take it out and compare the color to a color key that corresponds to varying nitrate levels. The third test we used tested for phosphates. A phosphate test is a chemical test used to determine the presence of phosphate ions in a solution. We conducted this test by using an aquarium test kit. First, you place 2 chemical reagents in your water sample. In the presence of phosphates, these reagents will turn the water sample different colors, which can then be compared to a key. These tests allowed us to come up with our results.
From our results, we concluded that the water quality of Clear Creek and the tap water in Piedmont Park is similar. Some of our results are not conclusive because the tests that we conducted on our samples were not specific enough to generate reliable or significant data. We used a student's t-test to compare the data gathered from Clear Creek and tap water. The t-test is a statistic that is used to decide if a null hypothesis can be rejected. If the t-test results in a value less than 0.05, the data is significantly different to discard the null hypothesis. Our tests for pH and phosphates had t-test values of 0.94 and 0.15, showing that our null hypothesis cannot be rejected. The graphs were made from the averages of pH and phosphates over the 2 experimental areas. The black lines present on the graphs are error bars, which show the range of error expected from our data. The overlap of the error bars also supports the conclusions drawn from the t-test.
Our data showed that there was similar water quality of Clear Creek and the tap water in Piedmont Park. Water quality is important because it's an integral part of any ecosystem. Water plays a big role in sustaining and contributing to the organisms around it. Our research can be extended to see what other factors play a role in determining water quality. With this, we can see the impact of water quality on the many organisms in the park.